All right, so today we're playing an online tournament, 7K guaranteed. I have a little strategy that I stick to. Usually works out pretty well for me, and kind of want to show you guys how it works. So step one, and this is actually an EV plus move, and you can check the math on it, but you always want to register at the end of late registration. I think it's a mistake to join any earlier. You're gonna end up spending more bullets. You're gonna end up facing people that are willing to throw their whole stack away when you play that early because they can just buy another bullet. So you always want to join at the cutoff. And if you play the same way I'm playing here, which coincidentally is not GTO, then basically 8 times out of 10 you're gonna finish in the money. 4 or 5 times out of 10 you're gonna finish in the top 1 to 2% of the field, and more like 1 to 2 times out of 10 you'll be final table. Um, and yeah, I mean, so the way I play, and granted, this right here is a GTO correct decision. I raise up Jack 7 suited, middle position, small and big blind don't do anything. Mr. Josh Smith over here with his 300k stack thinks it's a good idea to go all in. Let's assume he has aces. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, I'm not playing this hand, right? It's just not the gamble I want to take. So, moving on ahead here, we got King 5 suited. This is a couple hands and a couple folds later, a couple blinds later. We're kind of forced to go all in here against Josh Smith. And, luckily we flopped a 2 pair and kind of get our payback. So now we're in pretty solid shape. We have about 15 big blinds right now. This 10-5 suited, obviously I'm going to fold, but I mean, that's kind of the strategy. We're playing extremely tight and buying in at the cutoff. Um, this spot right here, ace 7 suited. This is a GTO optimal play. Again, I don't love to stick to GTO moves, but just felt like the right decision here. Again, it's not even my full stack to call this guy, and as you can see, going all in every hand doesn't play out well for Josh Smith. So just try to learn something from that. Um, take that one down. Again, we're in a good spot here. Just have a little over 20 big blinds. Folding bullshit hands. Now look at this one. So this is Queen 10 off. I'm pretty sure that's a raise under the gun. Believe it or not, that's like, or it depends on which ranges you're looking at. But for the most part, that's like in range. I folded that one because I've already won a couple all-ins, and the last thing I want to do is have to gamble more than I need to. So moving along here, we have 7-4 suited in the big blind. If no one's gonna bet into it, then I'm gonna check obviously. See what we get on the flop. Definitely try to make a quick escape if we don't really have much, or even if we have, middle pair. Really here, I'm just checking to fold. There's no way I'm calling a bet in this spot. Um, yeah, I'm out of there. So moving along now, this is a couple hands, couple blinds later. As you can see, we're in 66th place right now. Not terrible. This guy rips it all in. It's only half my stack, so I'm gonna, go all in myself to isolate him. And we actually get pretty lucky here. Pretty lucky in that he also has a pocket pair, but it just happens to be sixes. Um, we're in pretty good shape. Luckily, I blocked the 7 that would have given him a straight. So yeah, we got reseated after that. Nice little extra coin we got. Now right here, GTO says to raise this one up. But again, we're trying to maximize our wins and minimize our losses. Another thing to note, and you'll see coming up here, I get another hand that game theory tells me to raise. I don't love doing that because now all of a sudden the people I'm playing with don't respect my raises. They think I'm just going for anything. And that'll come into play later on, especially when I make a raise or I rip it all in against a couple raises and I win a ton of coin when I didn't have to gamble, right? So I'm just winning without needing to gamble. And as you can see right here, I'm hovering over my hand just to show you, if I would have called 7-8 suited or raised 7-8 suited and been in the pot, I would have had a draw. And this guy's betting into me. Now, next thing you know, I'm chasing something. I'm chasing, spending more money than I need to. And next thing you know, next hand, I have half my stack. But look at me. Since I folded, I still have a little bit over 30 big blinds, and I'm in good shape. Again, another spot right here where I was supposed to raise, but I decided to fold, and it was a great fold. Because look at this. Now he's betting in. I think this guy I don't know if he folds or he calls or not, but if he calls, you'll be able to see the turn doesn't really help us. So yeah, I mean, again, like what are you gonna win against there? If he has ace six, ace four, I mean, he has a better top pair, and yeah, it just wouldn't have been good for us. We're just losing. It's just lighting money on fire when you try to stick to GTO only exclusively. So right here, I got fours. It's gonna make a min raise. Um, Granted, raising it up with a low pocket pair when you're out of position isn't my favorite spot, and this is kind of a gamble. But what we're hoping for here is that no one else has a bigger pair, and or maybe we just steal the blinds. So let's see what board AF does. Takes his time, or her time, and they fold. So pick up some blinds there. We get lucky, I think. Gonna fold that. Rest in peace, Doyle Brunson. All right, so we got Ace King, and this is a dream scenario for anyone when you have Ace King, Aces, Kings. Mr. Risking does a decent sized raise. I think Shogun also calls, and you already know what I'm gonna do. As soon as it gets around to me, I'm ripping it, and I mean you're just in such a good spot there. I mean statistically, you have a very high chance of winning, and those are the hands you want to go all in with. And this kind of fits into the strategy where we're maximizing the wins and minimizing the losses. If I had been playing all those hands before this, let's say I only have 90k in chips, if these guys call, I'm not making as much as I could have. And that'll hurt you later on in the tournament, especially if you're vying for first place, especially if you're trying to win final table. But in this scenario, both guys fold, and you know what? That's fine because we pick up a decent size chip stack, and we didn't have to gamble for it. So I'll take that all day. Next hand, we have King 7 suited, fold that. Couple hands later, again, we got Ace King again. And that doesn't happen too often, right? But when it does happen, I mean, you gotta just play it the same way. Ace King is almost always an automatic all-in, or at least a sizable raise if no one's raised you before. I don't love doing a min raise with Ace King. I'm in position, or almost in position here. So we're gonna not do the min, we're gonna go a little bit higher. Gonna hit it with a 30k raise. Good chance we might pick up lines, or big blind is stubborn and he wants to protect what he already has in the pot, and I think that's what he does here. I think he calls, takes his time with it, calls. Flop is not perfect. I mean, we have the king of spades, but really there's not going to be much that he has that he's going to feel super confident about. So I'm going to continue betting here. It's going to bet a little bit, right? Maybe close to what I did pre-flop. Maybe slightly higher to show a little bit of confidence. And eventually it's going to get to a point where he thinks, okay, either he's drawing on a flush draw, or he has a set. We get another spade there. This guy, he might actually have the flush, right? A low flush, maybe Jack 7 suited, Jack 4 suited. I raise him, and this is a great spot to raise, especially when I raise pre-flop. He knows that, shit, he's not going to re-raise me right now, come over the top of me, unless he also has a flush, and he's just going to assume I have the better flush, and there's really nothing he can do about it. He takes his time. Now, some people are going to call you there, and that's not great. You're basically going to have to pray for another spade on the river. But in this scenario, again, when it's past late registration, when he's trying to hold on to all the chips that he has, there's a higher chance that they're going to fold. So you got to pick your bluffs wisely. So now we're at the break. We're in a really good spot. Have a good amount of chips. I'm skipping ahead here. Actually, I'm trying to look back to an older hand. Yeah, I'm just showing here that I had ace 10 off in the small blind, and I folded when GTO says I should have raised. And I'm glad I folded because I would have lost a lot of chips there. So there is, benefit to not sticking to GTO all the time. Again, third time we get ace king in this tournament, and it's not always going to happen this way, but when it does, you kind of know that you have a good shot of making it kind of deep. And this is kind of what you're looking for. Again, we're folding all the hands that we're not super confident about and saving our chips for when we have a hand like this. And we bet a little bit more than the min raise. Throw in 50k, 40k there. About 3 times the big blind. Most people fold to see what this guy does, taking his time, thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it. And really, we want him to raise or go all in. I mean, that'd be great for us. If not, again, we steal the blinds and the antes. That's fine. So this guy calls. Perfect, right? I mean, you couldn't ask for a better flop. I have the ace of diamonds, which is helpful. The chances of him having two diamonds is not super high, but I have top pair and top kicker, so I'm pretty confident here. I'm putting in a nice chunk of change into the pot. Don't ask me why I went with 96 or 97 or whatever. Just felt right, you know. Bet into the pot here. I hope that he calls. See what he does. He calls, alright. Alright. So, turn is semi-decent for us. Not terrible. See what I do. I just check it back, I'm pretty sure. Thinking about betting, but it's like, nah, let me just control the pot here. Would have loved the diamond on the river. We don't get it, but anyways, I go all in. And kind of a semi bluff, and then you notice this moron. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking. I mean, just don't play like people like that. You know, you got to give it up sometimes. Even if you think someone's bluffing you, a lot of times people bluff with a hand that's still pretty strong, or at least it was really strong on the flop. So, yeah, there was just no reason for him to call that at that point. I don't know why he did that. So let's try to take a lesson from that. Anyways, we're at another break. Again, we're in great spot. You know, 19th place out of 36. I'm really hoping we get the final table this tournament. Of course, I mean, we're gonna need the right cards. We're gonna need to get in the right spots. We're gonna need a bluff when necessary. All right, so this hand we got Ace Jack suited. Very confident here, even though Yastogi makes a big raise. We go all in. He calls, and we get the dub. You love to see it, right? Looking pretty good now. Pretty confident with this chip stack, thinking I can go pretty far. This ace deuce suited, I'm not crazy about. I mean, I know it's a great hand. I know it's like an obligatory 3-bet in the big blind, but I don't know. I like to kind of play super tight in a way. I really want to fold this. You might think I'm stupid when you see the flop, but as you see the hand progress, I just don't connect, and I don't love chasing hands, because what happens is you end up spending a ton of money when people bet into you, or when you bet yourself, and it can really hurt you when you just don't connect, because in reality, a 20% chance of having a diamond fall in the turn or the river is just not the greatest gamble, right? And again here, I mean, what are the chances he has a queen, right? Maybe he has king jack, something like that. Would have loved a diamond there. I would have confidently, you know, bet a sizable amount. I don't think he has a full house. I don't think he has a set. But even, you know, second pair, third pair would beat me here. But luckily, you know, my ace high does a trick. He checks back. He doesn't bluff there, and I get away with another sizable increase. Alright, so this is an interesting spot. I got pocket fours at the cutoff. Um, you know, I'm feeling like I want to raise this if middle position doesn't raise, but at this point, I call. Usually I'm going to fold that, and I know that seems like a crazy decision, but at that point, the chances of hitting a set are so low. The chances of him having like king something suited is pretty decent. Um, and, you know, anyone can have a 7 or a 10 or a king and could beat me. And now I'm just praying for a 4 on the turn or the river, which is not what you want to do when they're betting 150K in this spot. So I just let it go, hoping we can see a run out here to kind of confirm our decision. But at the end of the day, you really want to be disciplined at the table and make the right folds, or else it'll bite you in the ass later on. Again, we're vying for first. We want first place. That is always the goal when we play these games. And, you know, you're going to want to get away from certain spots in order to do that. All right, so we got ace queen off in the big blind. Mr. Petty goes all in with his whole stack, which is less than what I have, and, you know, he gets lucky. He, you know, there's no ace or queen on the entire board, and he wins it. So, we'll let him have that one. Okay, we got king 3 suited. Pretty sure I fold this one. Let's see how this turns out. Alright, so he does a min raise. My stack, as you can see, is kind of dwindling. I could go all in here. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't think that's what I want to do. I'm not sure if I call this one or fold. Let's see. I think I just fold it. Thinking about the call, but I just fold it. Now, you might say that's a bad decision, but I'm playing as tentative as possible here. And maybe I'm making a mistake. You can, drop it in the comments if you think I should have done something different in that spot. I'm always open to learning. But it's just been too many situations where if you raise too much or if you call bets and if you go all in too much, then, you're not putting yourself in the best position to win. And honestly, I like ace-jack suited more than I like king-5 suited. Sorry, ace-jack off. And so this is a turning point right here. I really want to focus on that spot. If you want to, go back to that. I had him dominated. As you can see, there was a 1% chance that he got any card to either win or chop the pot in the river, and somehow he just hits. And unfortunately, that kind of, I think, was a turning point in the tournament for us, where we just weren't going to make final table. We really needed that double up right there. I think we're sitting at only 10 big blinds right now. Me being tentative again, I fold ace-3 off. I'm just waiting for a better spot. I'm waiting for a pocket pair. I'm waiting for something higher in the range. Again, drop a comment if you think I should have done something different there as well, but I'm just trying to pick my spots. I'm trying to gamble in the right spots and gamble where I have the highest chance of winning. Again, we're just watching this run out just to kind of confirm my decision, which I don't always recommend, but I'm kind of glad I folded this. As you can see, I would have been drawing for a straight when there's a flush on the board, flush draw on the board, so kind of happy with that fold. I got 5s here, kind of what we were looking for. And I hope I raised this one. I don't know what I did. Let's see. Yeah, I raised it. Okay, good decision. Good decision. I'm in position. I got pocket pair. It's not the highest pocket pair. Granted, I am hoping they fold. I'm hoping I steal the blinds here. He calls, which isn't the best sign. And we get 2-6 jack. Realistically, I think I fold this one eventually. Luckily, it checks all around. Do I bet this one? Oh, what was I thinking? Man, okay, that's a mistake right there. That's a huge mistake. I should not have bet there. If I don't know, did I bet or did I fold? I check. Okay, thank God. I mean, seriously. I mean, a bet there would have been awful. The 9 comes down, doesn't help us too much. We're just waiting and seeing what these guys do. This guy's got a pretty big stack. Maybe okay, so he bets pretty sizable, knowing that I'm not going to call unless I have something good. And unfortunately, right here, 5s are not the best hand to have. So I think I'll let this one go. Yeah, I mean, there's a high chance he has a jack, top pair, something like that. So not worth at all. Obviously gonna fold that, 9-2 off. All right, I think we're nearing the end of our run here. Unfortunately, this is a spot where somebody else lost to us earlier in the tournament. I have pocket 6s. My chip stack is dwindling. I can see that I'm already in the money, but obviously we want first place. But I decided to gamble. I decided to go all in with my pocket 6s. Was this the best decision? I don't know. Maybe. It's just unfortunate that he hits the king on the turn and takes the pot. So, that's the end of the tournament. So we did decent. We finished actually in the top 1%, which is, again, what we're looking for, is playing this strategy, buying at the cutoff, playing super tight. You're going to be a profitable player. You're not going to be losing money, which I think is, if you love the game of poker, then that's ideal for you. So stick around. I'll be posting more videos. See you in the next one.